Hey guys, welcome to another haul video here. We had an opportunity, Courtney and I did, along with our daughter Maddie, to go to the bottle shop in Columbus, Georgia last weekend on a beautiful sunny day. It was rainy here today, but It's beautiful there at Columbus. And the bottle shop, what a great place. We knew it was a great place to go. We didn't know how great it was until we got there.
Yes.
Courtney said I had to take video of this display for the Wilderness Trail. This was their store pick that they had. We bought one because Cuz is a big fan of Wilderness Trail. We're not sure how we feel about Wilderness Trail, not for reasons that Cuz would know, but because Wilderness Trail is in Danville, Kentucky.
Correct.
Home of the Center College Colonels,
Yes.
and we do not like Center College as Transylvania University graduates.
That is true.
However, I will say begrudgingly that Wilderness Trail is delicious bourbon.
I loved this display, and I just have to say it was obviously put together by a woman. That's all I have to say. Look at that line. Look at that line right there of bourbon.
Men couldn't do that?
Well, let's just say attention to detail and getting the bourbon out may not necessarily be that. But I also love that they have their merch up front. They're like, hey, y'all can get this, but you got to pick up one of our Yetis over here.
Yeah, that's smart. It is smart. I got to give you that.
Yep, it's very smart.
So we definitely picked up one of those. The first thing I took a check out here was their Maker's Mark Private
Yes.
Select.
Probably should have picked up one of those, but...
No, I think we probably had them bettered.
Oh, you talking about the Montgomery pick?
Yeah, I feel like our picks have been really good, but I would never, ever question. And by the way, what was the price on that? I think I had it there at the bottom. I missed it because our camera was in the way. $74 probably? $79 for that.
$79, okay.
Hey, if it's good enough,
I know, hey.
you know what I'm saying? It's worth it.
Take it.
All right, now we're going to get into the meat of the...
This row of bourbon was impressive.
Yeah, now you claim to not know anything about the wheated Woodford Reserve.
I do not remember ever having wheated Woodford Reserve. I just don't remember that.
Like the actual wheated one, Chris.
Yes.
Chris has had it.
It was part of our tasting.
Was it?
Yes.
I must not have liked it because I would probably recall that then.
It was there were 3 wheated whiskeys that was part of our tasting.
Okay.
That we tried, and it was good. I don't think any of the 3 that night stood out compared to some of the other stuff we had.
Yeah,
Okay.
agree. You could see they're asking $32.99, $33, I guess, for the wheated. That wheated I thought was really sour on the end. I didn't love it. That's the red one specifically you were talking about. Also the malt whiskey there in the blue. Cuz definitely not a fan of the malted Woodford. We'll put it that way. Double oaked Woodford Reserve to me is pretty good, $55.
That's good.
I think it's on par with some of this Old Forester stuff we've been drinking.
I think
tonight.
also that's one that you could have on your bar and give to somebody that comes in as a guest. They would be impressed with something like that as a guest.
For sure, it's tasty. Just some regular Maker's Mark stuff here. Nothing too bad. Nothing really standing out to me here. Wild Turkey 101, obviously. We're kind of going down a little bit, checking out some of that bottom level stuff. We'll move up to the top a little bit here. Gentleman Jag, nothing real crazy here. Bullet, pretty much standard fare. You'll see this in pretty much every store. I assure you we do have some pretty cool stuff we came across here.
I love the big bottle of the 1792 small batch, though.
Yeah, it's a good looking bottle.
Yeah, it's really cool. The large
bottle.
bottle is really neat.
There's the Four Roses bourbon that I think that our friend Corey drinks right there. $40 for a handle. That's pretty. It's delicious bourbon, honestly, at that price. Now we're starting to get into some of the tasty stuff here. Knob Creek 9, which you see a lot of places. 58 for some of that for the big Elijah Craig. Old Tub at $25.99 might be a little bit high.
I mean, come on, it's Old Tub. You can go ahead and split out a couple more dollars.
Smoke Wagon, which is from Las Vegas. We have not had Smoke Wagon.
I've not had that.
And I'm not sure. I don't like the name.
My problem is I'm a Kentucky bourbon snob, so I tend to not lean towards things from other states.
All right. There are some things that we will accept, though. All right, Garrison Brothers. This is a very well-known Texas bourbon. We had some at the Leverett's daughter's wedding. Which
we were in Texas, so that's acceptable.
Yeah, for sure. And it was tasty.
Yes.
I have no problem with Garrison Brothers. I would probably try that yellow, the honey barrel, but
I don't think I'm going to be paying that price, though.
The thing I was really looking at here, first of all, was the Foursquare, which we had on the show last week, which is delicious.
It's really good.
But 170. Chris,
That's
I think
a little high for
Chris
me.
picked that up for us at the distillery. Was it that expensive?
It was in the ballpark.
Okay. It's a really good bourbon, but I'm not sure I would do that again at 170.
Yeah.
'Cause we get a lot of stuff at 170, you know what I'm saying?
I'd probably pick up 2 bottles of something I really liked for that.
And I see that the Garrison Brothers is 200. Wow.
I mean, look, they've got a big award on it. So maybe I need to try that.
Trying to get a feel for exactly which one that is. Here are.
Oh, here comes Jay's favorite.
Yeah, this is my area right here. This is the barrel stuff. I've never had a bottle of barrel that I didn't think was really good. The Infinite Barrel is one that Chris has at his house, and I have enjoyed the absolute hell out of that thing. $60 is what they're asking for this. Wow, it would be tough for me to figure out a whiskey that would be a tastier bottle than it's $60 in that one. But wow, you've got the Seagrass, the Dovetail, the Armida, which I referenced earlier in our show, and then the Vantage, and then the New Year. We've had all of these in the last 6 months, and they are all really, really good.
I mean,
The Armida, Brandon mentioned earlier, it's kind of like a cordial almost. It's made out of pear casks.
well, I like that. I mean, they're all the same price, basically. I mean, that you know what you're going to pay when you go in.
I love it. We got Barrel Vantage out of the allocation the other day when Becky got it for us.
There's one I see right here that you can tell I have no interest in.
I know
Like
exactly
zero
what it is.
interest
I know
in.
exactly what it is. That's Jefferson's
It's
Reserve.
the-
Right?
No, the Jefferson's Ocean. Because they like to say, oh, we put it on these barrels and it flings around in the ocean. You get the salt and blah, blah, blah. I'm not a fan. Don't care to drink that.
Yeah, I think
Pass on that. I think
really, really
I think it's overrated, and I definitely would not pay $89 for it.
You know, 64 for just regular Jefferson's. I don't think the bottle shop's really high on this. I'm not criticizing the bottle shop. I'm criticizing Jefferson's. That's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jefferson's
Want to say
is,
something on that, Chris?
Jefferson's is fine. It's just that ocean, the aged at sea. No, thank you. No, thank you.
The Jefferson's, I think, is for people who like lower proofs, like under 100, that they're very solid picks for them. They're good at that range. If you like stuff that's a little heavier proof, like at the 100 range or the 110 range or higher, you're probably going to be disappointed with Jefferson's.
Good stuff.
I think I got all worked up like, oh, this whole aged at sea, and I was bought into the marketing, and it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, we got a cask strength version of that, and I thought it was solid, but the cask strength is even more expensive.
I did like their version with it was in a wine barrel of some sort. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, it
but
was the
very
Pritchard
good.
Hill
That was
finish.
very good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, you drank that on a blind.
That was really
at
good.
Justin's House of Bourbon, and
That was
yeah,
really
you
good.
really liked that one.
Yes.
But that's not what we're talking
Yeah.
about here. Moving over to some ryes, which sometimes we're not great about.
I would really like to try some Blue Run, but I don't know what to try there. That's what I'm.
I know, we got a
that's
little
what
overwhelmed.
I'm hoping for because there's so many options with it. I don't know, and I know I'm not going to go straight in on a rye because that's not for me. But I don't know much about that. I would like to try something of that.
Cuz and I were confronted with several Blue Runs in Destin, and we just weren't sure what to do with them. Like, there were too many.
Oh, now there comes
We're still over here on the, you like the peg
Peg
leg
leg
porker.
porker.
It's a great name.
I love that. That's awesome. That's
great
a nice
name, but
name.
$110.
Look at him. He does have a peg leg.
Yeah, he does.
That's awesome. I might buy. Well, I'm not buying for $110 for that, but
$110.
if he was $50, I would have gotten him.
Bunch of whistle pigs, obviously. Your 12-year, your 10-year, your farm stock.
You gotta talk me into Whistle Pig. That's just not a fave.
I like whistle pig as a gift. I do. I just don't like.
Don't pay for it. I got you.
I don't like drinking it. And rare breed rye, it's not my thing. I love rare breed, but
think I get
piggyback
some.
rye, which we had at
All
our
these
bourbon event in
ryes.
Montgomery.
Ugh.
Peerless rye, which we love Peerless. Back over to the actual bourbons. A couple interesting things here. There's the Kings. We were talking about that earlier on the show.
Yes.
Chris and I had some of the Kings that was given us by our friend Hunter. This is not the exact one here that's toasted, but it's interesting to see that out there anyway. The Stillwater Rye is a beautiful bottle, Courtney. You mentioned this to me when we were in the store. You're like, what an absolutely awesome bottle this was.
That is really cool.
We just weren't sure. We're not really rye fans to start off with.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest rye fan, so I can't really go on what that would be. I love rye in a cocktail, but when it's mixed in a cocktail, I can't tell you what kind of rye it is. So I am not the person to ask on that.
There's some of the Laws, which is definitely not from Kentucky. I think it's fair to say. Pinhooks. These are the rye pinhooks, by the way. I know that silver one is a 7-year straight, so I don't think that's necessarily rye, but we'll see. We're still over in the rye. Stellum, which I learned recently, is actually a product of Barrel.
Oh.
Barrel kind of saw those as less experimental, more like everyday bourbons. So I should have picked some of those up.
There's your Castle and Key restoration.
Yes, restoration Castle and Key for sure. We were at Castle and Key like a month ago, and those were the only things they had. Yeah.
Correct. I did not know that Bardstown had a rye, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, because I don't. Did you know that they had an origin rye? I did not know that.
Yes, they've got their origins. There's 3: the black label, which is a wheated bourbon, the white label, which is a regular bourbon, and then their rye.
Yeah.
That was part of the barrel thieving tour. We got a taste of their rye, and it surprised me. I kind of like you. I'm not a big fan of the ryes, but this was a
good one. Huh?
It was very good.
Okay.
Chris and
I
Becky.
don't doubt it from Bardstown.
Chris and Becky thieved it out of the barrel. They literally stole it.
Yes.
No, not really.
Yes.
And as an old school Bardstown Bourbon Company fan, the
Old
green.
school because they've been around so long.
The green reminds me of the early on discoveries. Discovery
true.
1 and 2 were green labeled.
A little darker than that, but yeah.
Thanks, Courtney. Appreciate that. All right, we're back in the land of Jay and Courtney here.
Yes.
Some Wilderness Trail, which Chris has, I think, all of these. $70, not too bad. Unfortunately, me and Courtney had to do some.
We had to decide. So I did appreciate this bottle right here on the right. I cannot remember what it was.
Kings County?
Yes. I was like, I like that they did not do any sort of, they're like, we're just going to go straight in. We're not going to do some fancy label. We're just going to look like a pharmacy bottle from back in the day. They look like back in the Prohibition times, like this is what you would get on your pharmacy shelf. I love it.
By the way, you and I were kind of dismissive of the ryes in general, but Brandon, who knows this stuff, he's here in the chat with us, says the Wilderness Trail rye is amazing. So
Really? Okay.
this Kings County small batch peated bourbon, like this sounds like something I would not like. Peated bourbon.
Peated probably kind of turned me off when I saw that, but I love the bottle and the lack of of fanciness.
There's the Murray Hill that Brandon was talking about drinking earlier
Sorry,
today.
not a fan.
Yeah, not a fan either. It says Joseph Magnus on that. It is not Joseph Magnus. I mean, it is a product of them, but I think of regular Magnus being a lot better. St. Cloud we've seen a few times. Just never really got enough of a feel to be willing to put down $150
I wasn't going to put
on it.
$150 on that.
That's a lot.
That's the same I felt about these. I cannot remember the name of it, but I was like, you know what? This is a really cool label. Tell me about this.
Yeah, 15-year right there for 3 Hundo. But I mean, we're just kind of working class people. I can't drop 300 unless it's like we really know.
I mean, you got to know what you're getting for 300, right? Now, they had 3 Kentucky Owls. That was kind of nice. I don't think you ever really see that on a typical shelf. They may have it behind the counter. They may have it behind the glass or something like that. But, I was surprised.
Yeah. Cuz has a St. Patrick's Day version of that, a green label,
Nice.
which we had the other night. And, I mean, I'm not trying to put anything down, but I thought it was solid. But I don't know. I don't think Chris would necessarily buy that again. And the regular their annual release is 300, and then the confiscated is 130, and then the Takumi version, which again I read some reviews on the Takumi, and they were like, it's okay. If you're really into Japanese whiskey, that might be more up your alley, I guess. But at 150, I mean, it's got to be pretty good, in my opinion. The Calumets, we've had several different versions of the Calumets, and we thought they were just kind of solid.
Well, I do miss the old original Calumet bottle that they used to have, the rounded one.
Yeah, it was like wider.
Yeah, it was. And I'm sure that this is a much cheaper way to bottle it, but I miss that part.
Yeah. And also Calumet Farm, to most people, doesn't mean anything, but to us, that was a great racing
Horse farm back
horse
in the day
farm,
in Kentucky.
which was very close to where my grandparents lived, maybe a mile away. And it went dormant for a long time. It's back now. And
You actually have a belt that's made of Calumet.
that is
Yes,
true.
I need appointed a belt for him that has the whole farm on it.
And there's the I.W. Harper that
Yes.
you love that decanter so much.
It's right here. We have it here.
Somewhere.
Yep.
It's
It's right
right
here
there.
over my shoulder. Yep.
I.W. Harper. I thought the bourbon was just so-so, but
I agree, but I love the decanter. It reminds me of 1970s and my grandma's house.
now this is one, the Short Barrel Founders Reserve. You had actually really thought about picking up this bottle.
Yes. I did.
15-year-old, cool bottle, made
And
in
it's-
Georgia.
Well, and it's also, I was like, barrel proof, it's going to be kind of tasty, I think. But once again, $200, I'm not really interested in coughing out $200 for something I don't know what it tastes
Right?
like.
Yeah.
So,
Brandon says
Had
it's
to pass
funny
on
how these
that.
brands start to drop off when they stop sourcing 15-year juice from MGP and start making their own.
that is true.
That's
That
another
is
one.
true.
Short Barrel is another example
Yeah.
of that.
There's some NULU. You ended up getting a NULU, though.
I did. I got the
Okay,
NULU
this
Port
is
Barrel
another
finish.
one that interested me, was
Yeah.
the Lone Whisker.
Lone Whisker.
yes.
At $215.
It didn't interest me at the price point, but it interested me because I've never seen it sitting on a shelf before. Not that it's something I've ever searched for, but I am always looking for something that I can't typically find other places. And, you know, this was something different.
Yeah, we ended up passing on that one, but really it was just kind of like the money.
There's my Thomas S. Moore's. I love those. Oh, delicious.
Yeah, they're underrated. $75
Delicious.
is just. I wish they were like $55, but
I think they're delicious. I'd pay $75 every day.
they're good. Uncle Nearest is one that you and I have tasted, but we didn't necessarily love.
Wasn't wild about it. This was the other one I was thinking about.
I'm intrigued that
SB
the Southern Collective at $96 is gone. Like that got sold out.
I
I'm
don't know anything
intrigued.
about
I'm
that.
intrigued. Maybe I'm missing something on that one. I don't know much about that one. at
SB House, I did go and look at that, and I was tempted, but it is, I believe, from Virginia.
all.
I kind of passed on that. There's my old fine whiskey.
There's the ones that we had tonight. We had the Prohibition style tonight on our show. We, of course, are huge champions of the 1910 Old Fine Whiskey.
Yes.
And then 1897 and 1870 are both good as well. The Red Line. I really, really thought about getting this Red Line.
Really? I did
You had the
not know
orange
that.
curacao. You had the maple syrup, which I wasn't necessarily crazy about, but the Elements one I was probably going to pick up. Did end up doing it. I believe this is a company out of Missouri. Obviously, they're using sourced stuff. It's a father and a son that kind of got
Okay.
in and did this. And I just wasn't sure enough to go $62. I don't know, man. Like, if I was to go back now, I'd probably hit it because I picked up the ones I really had to have.
So this is the blue run I probably need to try right there, right? That just straight up bourbon.
Yeah.
That's probably what I need to try. And these others over here on the right, isn't that Mattingly?
Yeah, it is. It's exactly
The
what
ones
it
that
is.
look like that basically I drew the label on.
Yeah, it's kind of their thing.
I think that's kind of cool.
I had the Sunday morning in my hand at one point, and one of the guys that works there was like, "This is really good. It's MGP, but it's really good." And I don't know, $115.
You know, if I'm going to pay over $100, I kind of got to know what I'm getting.
That kind of leads me to a question. So
Yes, sir.
on these bourbon hall videos, if you see these different price points, at what price point would you have to try it before you buy it?
To me, when it hits 3 digits, I got to kind of know what I'm getting into. If it's early 3 digits, like 109, I'd probably be like, okay, let's just try this. But you're pushing 150 and higher, I just have a hard time justifying getting it, because if I taste it and it tastes like Murray Hill Club, I'm going to be really upset.
Yes, Murray Hill Club is the one that got us, I think.
Yes.
Here's some other ones. Penelope, the Architect, which I had in my hand at one time. It was the only one left, and I ended up leaving it. Rosé Cask Finish and also Toasted. We are new converts to Penelope.
Yes.
It's really good. Milam Green, we actually researched this.
We talked about this today, but that the one that you said I should try is the most expensive one there, correct?
Yeah, the red label there was $150. That is an interesting distillery. I read a little bit about it before we went. The top 3 people at that distillery are women, which I know would
Gotta be
appeal to you.
geniuses.
And you thought very seriously about taking one of those home,
I
but
did.
we ended up passing just because, again, $150, as you just mentioned,
Yeah.
Courtney. It's a little
So
high.
what's your price point there, Jay?
100. Yeah. If it's one I don't know anything about, probably 75.
And I have a hard time reading reviews online about what people think about it because a lot of times my palate doesn't agree with what they've said.
Yeah.
So
There's the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond.
that's a delicious thing to take. We should have taken one of those.
We probably should have taken one of those.
We did not.
We passed on that at the distillery as well.
Yeah.
It
Well, the
happens.
good thing is we can always send our 21-year-old daughter to go get it for us.
Oh, she would love to do it. She'd be overjoyed. The Penelope Barrel Strength, we actually bought 2 of these a couple weeks ago. One for us. I think we left one at Cuz's house because I just thought that he and Becky needed that.
It's good.
It is really good. It's approximately $70. That's a really good value, I think. Anything else? I don't see
I
any
don't
other
know much
nuggets
about any of
here.
that
Really
other
getting
stuff.
yeah, Watershed, not exciting me too much. Back up to the Milam Green. Little journeyman down there from Michigan, which is actually pretty good.
There's a fave for me. We just passed right past it. Y'all know what it is. Those that know me, it's the Blade and Bow.
Yes, Blade and Bow.
Love
What are they
that.
asking? 49.
That's fair.
$50. Yeah, that's
I
fair.
mean, normally you pay 45 around here for
As
it.
you guys know, she's
Take
kin.
49.
She is kin to the Stitzels.
I mean, yes.
Your grandma was a
They went
Stitzel.
broke as a joke, but yeah.
And that Russell's Reserve single barrel at $60. It's about as good
Yeah.
as you can
That's
get.
a good one.
About as good as you can get at $60, in my opinion. Going through, we got some more Bardstown. This is Willet stuff here.
Yes.
The old
That's
Bardstown.
just a whole thing right there.
Yeah, that's just like a whole Willet spot there. Pure Kentucky, Johnny Drum,
One
Kentucky
I will not
Vintage.
purchase. I can see it right now.
Yeah, Rowan's Creek is
Rowan's
ass.
Creek, not a fan. I'm not a fan of
$42.
Noah's Mill either. I like Pure Kentucky. Johnny Drum is okay. Kentucky Vintage is good for me. What else we got here?
Pure Kentucky's not bad.
And that's what I said.
Yeah. But these other
Old
ones.
Bardstown. Now my favorite is Old Bardstown Bottle and Bond, but you can only get that in Kentucky,
Or nearby. We never see it
right?
here.
So if you're talking about cheap, that's a cheapie, and that would literally be my daily drink if I lived in Kentucky.
My guess is that this old Bardstown, this 24 right there,
Probably very similar.
it's probably similar. It's
Yeah.
the same price point, and it looks like it's the same bottle.
Just doesn't have these same
Hey, Jay put his
stipulations.
finger in there. That was great.
That's okay.
There's the Healing Station right there, which is the Tennessee bourbon, which we have a black label version of that, which we really, really like. I would definitely buy that again. Don't know about these specific expressions right here.
I don't know much
but,
about that. I don't know about the one with the hand on it.
Yeah,
What is
it's
that?
called Digits. I don't know anything about that one.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool. 5 Trail, again, $80, a little bit high for me for something that I don't know a lot about. Going back into this a little bit, I do see that Old Soul. If I had seen this Old Soul at the very top of your screen here in the blue with the golden writing, I absolutely would have picked that. I saw this when I was putting the video together, and I said, "Damn it, how did I miss that?"
Pass me the road.
That is an amazing, amazing pour. Also, Pursuit United up there as well. You
Yeah,
can't really
that's
see
a
that
good
very
one.
well in the video, but and then some Mixters there, just the usual Mixters, small batch, American, and then the sour. A little bit of Bardstown here. We got the Founders, which Cuz has. That Discovery there, I believe, was Discovery 6.
6, yeah.
Which I
That's what it
thought
was.
seriously about snatching. You don't see 6 out here very much. 8,
True.
8 and 9 is what you usually see. Fusion, I'm not really interested in either. It's just not something I'm going to be doing. Fiddler is from
Fiddler's the
Atlanta.
Atlanta one. Yeah, we went to that distillery. The girls did.
Little Old Elk.
See, here are the fakers. Look at that fake candle right
Looks
there.
just like birthday bourbon,
If
doesn't
Old Forester wanted to sue somebody over a bottle, that would be it right there.
Now this Clyde Mays that you see here in like the golden/wooden sticker.
Caster?
They're
Okay.
asking $160 for that. It's a 13-year, I believe. It is tasty. I've had it at Justin's place, but again, $160. It's just
That's
like
a lot.
that's a lot. I had some of the red label stuff, which is $67 at Justin's place, and it was good. I think for that you'd be better off going Russell's Reserve or something like that. Old Elk, which is something that Cuz likes a lot, or at least Cuz has some of, out of Colorado.
Yes, the higher proof wheated bourbons have been really good.
Word. Courtney said, "Hey, you got to take video of this. This you don't see the guy, but there's a guy out here, and he's usually sitting in this trailer. He's doing fresh boiled peanuts right in front of the place.
love it.
So, yeah, I like that. It's kind of a different thing." And Courtney said, "Hey, they don't have a drive-through, but they do have curbside."
They do have curbside, so you can pull right on up and get what you need without getting out of your car. You know, I mean, it is not drive-through, but it works.
I'd also say that the folks at the bottle shop were incredibly friendly.
Very,
And we
very
always
friendly.
ask for permission to video before we start videoing, and they were like, absolutely,
Yeah.
have at it.
Have a good time.
We love it. So the bottle
A lot of
shop
good choices there.
in Columbus, Georgia, a place that we
But
ended
you
up.
know what? We did not share what we got there.
Well, please do.
I got Redemption Rum Cask Finish. I saw that and I was like, you know what? I'm getting me some of that. That was my pick. I limited myself to one bottle. Maddie got some Jose Cuervo.
Yeah, some of that. Let's see. I got a NULU
Yes. It's finished. It's something I want to
port
try.
cask finish.
Yeah, I want to try that. That sounds delicious.
What else did I get there? I've forgotten now, but I was happy with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I got Castle and Key,
Oh, yeah.
which we ended up drinking over at Cousin's house
hard
the other
to find.
night. Yeah, it's like the Michelob Ultra bourbon, but it's good though.
It's a cool bottle. It's a great place to visit.
Anyway, bottle shop, Columbus, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it. Thank you all for letting us come.
And you
And
definitely
visit.
check them out if you have a chance, because
Yes.
if you're in Alabama, I mean, they have a selection that's so far
Yes.
above anything we would see in our
Yes.
state.